Hola clase, hoy vamos a hacer repaso de los verbos. No es una lección super fantástico or super divertido. It's not a really fun lesson, pero es necesario en aprendiendo el lenguaje español, but very necessary in learning the Spanish language. Pero vamos a comenzar con algo super fácil. We're going to start with something really easy. El alfabeto y cómo pronunciarlo. The alphabet and how to pronounce it, solo para repaso, y después vamos a hacer una actividad para practicar. So, A, B, C, Che, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L, M, N, N, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Y aquí tenemos el tilde y nota el tilde aquí en el N. So N, Nye, that's the difference. That's how important the tilde is. For example, niño has a tilde, niño, child. Without the tilde, it would be nino. And it really changes, it can change definitions, but it also can change the sound of something. So acentos son super importantes. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to spell a word for you, and I want you to write it down. G, U, A, Y. So there is a little spot in your cheat sheet, number 1, and you can spell this word right under el alfabeto. G, U, A, Y. G, U, A, Y. G, U, A, Y. Guay. Esta es una palabra española que significa cool. So this is really only used more so in Spain. Que guay. That's cool. Que guay. Super guay. That's really cool. En Mexico normalmente es chulo. Chulo, guay, que más? Those are two that are just coming to my mind, but guay comes more from Spain. Chulo comes more from chévere, also means cool as well. That's more of North America, Mexico. Okay, I'm going to spell another word for you, and I'll go back up and let you see the alphabet. H, A, S, T, A. 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 Hasta. Hasta es una palabra española que significa until. What I want you to do now is write down as many expressions that you can think of that begin with hasta. There are quite a few expressions with saying goodbye where you use hasta. Por ejemplo, just to get you started, hasta luego. So I gave you 3 possibilities, like 1, 2, 3 to write things down, but I'm actually going to show you 6, so you can add, but you have plenty of space to write those down. Hasta luego, which means see you later. Hasta pronto, which means see you soon. Hasta mañana means see you tomorrow. Hasta ahora, right now. I also love ahorita, even making it right now, right now. So hasta ahora means right now. See you now. Hasta la vista, until we see each other. Hasta la próxima. Hasta la próxima, until the next time. So if I said la próxima semana, la semana próxima, that means next week. El mes próximo. So depende. en la situación. Hasta la próxima. See you next time. Okay, so these were just a couple ways to say goodbye and also use hasta. So hasta means until, but for example, hasta luego would mean see you later. So that's how we would translate it to English. But the literal translation is hasta, until later, okay? All right, so vamos a practicar los números muy rápido. Hopefully you guys are really familiar with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I only really have up to 30 and 40, 40. I don't have my slide right now. That would be like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Pero ahora vamos a practicar la hora. So we're going to take these and we're going to practice the time. So número 1, 5:15. So remember in Espanol, when you're doing the time, you use es la for 1 o'clock. All other times you use son las. So if I was going to say 5 o'clock, I would say son las 5. Son las 5 y then I'm going to say the minuto, the minute. And there's two ways you can say this one. 15, 15. And there's also another word in Spanish that they use for quarter after, and that's cuarto. And that literally means a quarter of an hour, which would be 15 minutes. So son las 5:15, son las 15, or son las 5:15. Los dos son correctas. Número 2. So it's 6:45. So for this one, we're going to have to round up to the next hour. So I want to say that it's 7 o'clock minus 15. So, son las 7? Then how do you say minus? Menos. How do you say 15? 15 or cuarto. So son las 7 menos 15. También son las 7 menos cuarto. 6:45. You also could literally say 6:45, son las 6:45. Depende en la persona. So número 3, I just mentioned a rule that you use es la for 1 o'clock and for all other times you use son las. This is one of the exceptions. Again, there's two ways to say noon. We could say son las 12, but we also could say es el mediodía. Muy bien. Excelente. So, es el mediodía. This is the only other one that you can use es with. So, es el mediodía or es la una. You also could say son las 12 por la tarde to clarify that it's 12 in the afternoon. Número 4, 8:10. Son las 8:10. Número 5, again, we're going to have to round up to the next hour. Son las 10 menos 5. Son las 10 menos 5. Muy bien. Hopefully this refreshes your brain a little bit on how to tell time and los números. Okay, so on to the lesson for today. Repaso de los verbos. El primero verbo que vamos a hacer is ir. So hopefully you guys remember this. I just left a space for you to be able to conjugate it. Voy, vas, va. Vamos, vais, van. Yo voy a hablar en español. I'm going to speak in Spanish. This is a really easy way to express the future tense or what you will be doing in the future. Voy a estudiar la historia. I am going to study history. Voy a ser una profesora. I am going to be a teacher. Voy al supermercado hoy. I'm going to the supermarket today. So to say where you're going and also to state the future tense. So the thing that's a little bit funny about el verbo ir is that it's super irregular. So ir changes into voy. So yo voy means I go or I am going. It can mean both of those things. So nosotros vamos a mirar el partido de fútbol americano domingo. We are going to watch the football game Sunday. So there's a couple different easy ways you can do that. So go ahead, you guys, and answer those questions 1 through 5 y conjugar el verbo ir. So just as a reminder, ir plus a plus the infinitive. Once you've conjugated ir, you can't conjugate another verb. You can't say yo voy a hablo. I am going to, I speak. So you conjugate the verb ir, voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, va. You always have an a after it because you're going to somewhere. And a means to someplace. So yo voy a comer la pizza. I am going to eat pizza. Voy a vivir en Europa durante mis veranos. I am going to live in Europe during my summers. Okay, so that's ir plus a plus the infinitive. So Martín y Luis van a bailar en el parque al mediodía. So Martin and Luis are going to dance in the park at noon. Número 2. Luis va a nadar en la piscina. Luis is going to swim in the pool. ¿Tú vas a cocinar la cena? You are going to cook the dinner. Yo voy a bowling con mis amigos los viernes. I am going bowling with my friends on Fridays. If you do something every week, then you make the day of the week plural. So for example, if you go shopping every Friday, you would say, yo voy de compras los viernes. I go shopping on Friday. Los lunes yo tengo mi clase de español. On Mondays, I have Spanish class. Now, if I said, el lunes yo tengo una reunión. If I made it singular and just said, el lunes, that means Monday I have a meeting. And so if you want to say it's just a one-time thing that you're doing on a day of a week, you would say el lunes, el martes, el jueves. El jueves voy a un concierto. Thursday I'm going to a concert. Los viernes yo voy a pasar mucho tiempo con mis amigos. On Fridays I'm going to spend a lot of time with my friends. Okay. Martín y yo. So remember, anytime you have yo with another subject pronoun, it becomes nosotros. Muy bien. So Martín y yo vamos a andar en bicicleta en la lluvia. So Martin and I are going to ride bikes in the rain. So la lluvia is rain. Hace mal tiempo means it's not nice weather. Okay, andiamos. Continuamos. So this part is painstaking. So I did kind of put these charts out for you, and it's just really good practice, and there's nothing I can do about this. This is just where the dirty work comes in. You have, to copy these down. So remember, you need to see and hear a word 7 times, and I think it's even extra complicated when learning another language because you need to know when to use it with what subject pronoun, and so it's very layered. And so the dirty work is really important into being successful. So go ahead, fill in your charts. And when you're done with your charts, what I want you to do is do questions. It should be, unfortunately, no, so it's going to be questions 1 through 20. 1 through 20. So fill those in. So fill in your charts. Then after you fill in your charts, you are going to fill in your answers to your questions. So hopefully I left that up there long enough. Let me go back a second. Just had a moment of forgetfulness, which happens because it's really hard to learn a language. Also, I like making mistakes in front of you because it allows you to make mistakes. So I'm going to try to move this as well so it's easier for you guys to see. So I suggest you just pause it, fill it in, and then go to the next screen. And these are verbs that we actually do at the end of Spanish 101. And this is really good review because we're going to be learning the preterite soon. And the preterite has different stem changers than the present tense. So the better that you can have these down pat. I don't think we get enough opportunities to practice them. It just will really help you find more success in Spanish. And again, it's okay if you make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying or learning. Especially with speaking a foreign language, it is all about making mistakes and putting yourself out there, which can be hard. So I think the only verb I was unable to put in there is jugar, so you guys could add that anywhere. So poder is to be able to, jugar is to play. So hopefully you had time to fill all those out. So now it takes a couple minutes to do 1 through 20. It's multiple choice, so it shouldn't be too difficult, but I think it's a good way to get back into Spanish and los verbos complicados, the complicated verbs. So, número uno, los estudiantes. These were the questions I want you guys to fill in. If you have your cheat sheet, just make sure you've printed it out or you're filling it in side by side. It'll make your life a lot easier. So, los estudiantes blank lo que la profesor dice, pero no entienden bien. So, los estudiantes oyen. The students hear what the professor is saying, but they don't understand well. Oof, we could all relate to that. Número dos, la computadora, $600. So this one, I can't give you all the verbs, but this is the same thing. Costar is your verb, and it has a O to UE change. So costar means to cost. So if I said, ¿Cuánto cuesta? How much does this cost? ¿Cuántas cuestan? How much do these cost? So that's where that comes from. La computadora cuesta. The computer costs $600. Número tres, nosotros la cuenta antes de salir. Nosotros pedimos la cuenta antes de salir. We asked for the check before we left. Número cuatro, yo nunca mis llaves cuando las necesito. Yo nunca encuentro, I never find my keys when I need them. Uf, comprendo. Número 5. Mi amigo y yo, juntas cada semana. Mi amiga y yo, my girlfriend and I, eat lunch together every week. Mi amiga y yo almorzamos. Ustedes deben a los niños mañana? So again, cuidar, I don't think was in your lista de verbos, but this is also a stem changer. So, but this one's already conjugated. Ustedes deben. So, ustedes deben cuidar a los niños. You all should take care of the children. So this isn't a stem changer. Cuidar is actually the verb, and you use that. Yo cuido los niños de mi vecino. I watch the children. I care for the children of my neighbors. So ustedes deben cuidar. You should all care for the children tomorrow. Número 7. Tú tienes tiempo para ayudarme en la clase de historia? Do you have time to help me for history class? Select the correct form of the verb to complete the sentence. Blank tus libros a clase cada día. ¿Traes tus libros a clase cada día? Do you take your books to class every day? Número 9. Es necesario ir a las montañas para esquiar. It is necessary to go to the mountains to ski. So again, es necesario, this is already conjugated, so you can't say es necesario vamos a las montañas. It's necessary we go to the mountains. Es necesario ir. It's necesario to go to the mountains to ski. Número 10. ¿Dónde pone Luisa su bolsa? Where did Luisa put her bag? So poner is to put, Pone is in the third person. Poner is only irregular in the yo form. So, número 11. Los chicos ponen sus libros en las mochilas. They put their books in the backpacks. Número 12. Mis amigas prefieran comer con sus familias. My girlfriends prefer to eat with their families. Número 13. Los padres tienen mucha responsabilidad. The parents have a lot of responsibility. Número 14. Mi hermano y yo volvemos a casa en diciembre. My brother and I return home in December. Número 15. Alberto y yo blank ir a Europa después de terminar los estudios. Albert and I queremos, we want to go to Europe. Número 16. Ustedes ven muchas películas. You all see a lot of movies en esta clase de cultura. Número 17. Juan devuelve el libro en la biblioteca de la universidad. So your verb was volver. Devolver means to return something, has the same stem changer, O-D-U-E. Número 18. Cuando blank con mis amigos. Salgo con mis amigos comes from the verb salir, when I go out with my friends. So, yo salgo mi casa a las 8. I leave my house at 10. Yo salgo con mis amigos. I go out with my friends. Yo salgo con Jose. I go out with Jose. So, hay diferentes expresiones con el verbo salir. Número 19. Nosotros queremos más tiempo para estudiar. We want more time in order to study. Número 20. ¿Qué piensan ustedes del precio de los libros de texto hoy en día? What do you all think of the prices of textbooks today? Hoy en día means like in today's age, in today's life. Okay, so again, hay muchos verbos y necesitamos practicar un montón. We need to practice so much to get these down pat. And eventually, soon, in our next chapter, we learn the preterite versus the imperfect and the preterite and the irregular preterite. And so it's really good to try to practice all of these stem changers in the present tense as well, because it only gets a little bit more complicado as we move forward. So if you're feeling frustrado, make sure you know that the growth mindset in learning Spanish is one of the most important things to lead to success. So even though you're not being successful now and you keep on messing up, with determination and dedication, it will come. So stick with it. So que tenga buen día y nos vemos pronto. Hasta la próxima lección. Until the next lesson. Ciao.